Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Francesca and I am an aspiring fantasy writer, and I would like to share my journey here with all of you on YouTube as I end up publishing my first fantasy series. And I would also like to help everyone come along with me along the way and follow their dreams too. So today's topic is that we're going to talk about how do I get any work done with a baby? How do I write with a baby? Now, I can't say that I am perfect at this because when I had my first child, I did have basically a 6-month hiatus from my fantasy series. It actually ended up working out really well for me. And I came back to my series with fresh eyes and so much more motivated and happy with what I've written. I really felt like there for a little bit I was just going downhill month after month, plugging along with that. So I guess the hiatus was really what I needed to get back into things. But now I have an almost 11-month-old and he is a baby that likes to be constantly held. So people might wonder how on earth I get anything done. So for those other novel writing mamas out there who want to know what I did to try and get some time to write, then this video is for you. Number one is to use nap time. Now, I know that so many people tell you you need to sleep when the baby sleeps, and if they're staying up all night, and you are completely tired and have no energy left to write, then that is something that you're going to need to do. But once your baby starts sleeping a little better, what a lot of us mums tend to do is we tend to use that nap time to get stuff done around the house, or we nap. I never personally did that because my baby's been an okay sleeper. You can find ways to clean the house and cook and get all those things done while your baby is actually awake, but it does involve baby wearing. So if your child is one of those children that need to be held all the time, it's actually a great way to bond with your child and keep them happy. Because if you're usually just trying to cook around, and do things around the house while your baby's on the floor and try to entertain them on the floor, but they like to be held, they're usually going to be a little upset anyway and continually coming up to you asking to be picked up. So it's an easy solution. You just wear them. My baby boy likes to be worn facing outwards. And then I get all of that stuff done that needs to be done during the time that he's awake. So when he goes down for his nap, I can write. This does mean that you'll only have a limited amount of time to write in the day. And depending on how quick you want to go, you might have to devote the hours that he goes to bed to write as well, or wake up an hour earlier, depending on when your child wakes up. But for me, I'm happy to go a little bit slower. At the moment, I'm using his first nap to write and his second nap for content creation. I get about an hour and a half of writing in every day. Number two, so this point ties into the first, is clean while he is still awake. If you feel like you put your home duties first, you really want to write, but you know that right now you're in the role of either a stay-at-home mom or a housewife, and you want to make sure that the house is taken care of first for everyone, that the meals are cooked, that the baby is taken care of, then you need to baby wear him and get all of that stuff done in the time that he's awake. I still cannot write around my baby. I am starting to get to the point where he will let me read around him for a little bit, but he is too fascinated with what I'm doing with the iPad that if I'm trying to get words in around him, he will just come up to me and try and take the iPad and he'll scream if he doesn't get that iPad or if he's not doing what I'm doing. A little bit the same with books, but he is starting to change direction. So if he sees that I'm reading and I don't give him the book, he will try and go and play as long as I'm close to him on the floor. So it's so vital for me that all of the stuff that I need to get done is done while he's awake. So then I don't have to use that nap time, all that time after he goes to bed, to do any of that. Number three is plan. So planning around your baby, planning around your duties in the home, and planning around your husband and your family. This way you can come up with the best attack plan for you. You can decide what time is going to be your writing time. Now, a lot of people at the beginning would say, even if you just start with 15 minutes, that's going to keep you in your book and keep you progressing a small amount every day. So you're not going to feel completely disconnected from your project. And this is completely doable. Some people might need to wake up earlier. Some people might need to stay awake an hour later at night. But honestly, I think that if you plan well, understand your baby, try and get things done while they're awake, you can really slot in times in their naps. Number four is to use the time that would otherwise be used to watch TV. I know It's really frustrating. I know that when you've been entertaining a baby all day and you're tired and your partner comes home, you guys just want to relax on the couch. And if you have one of those babies that don't go to bed till like 8:30 or 9, then you really feel like you only have max an hour of time that you should use to do anything else, because you also need to sleep, right? Your baby probably wakes up early, so you can't just acquire a lot of sleep debt. But honestly, using that time to write is so important if you don't find any other time, because think about what you're doing. You are relaxing by watching a story. Because you're a writer, you love getting involved in the plot and the characters and analyzing them. But you could be doing the exact same thing with your book. It's a little bit more effort, but it's more rewarding in the long run. And you're going to feel so much prouder for yourself from actually creating something as opposed to consuming. Number 5, I left this one last because not everyone has it as an option. But to be honest, from what I've discovered, a lot of people do have it as an option and just don't use it. So number 5 is to get support if you can. Do you have a mother-in-law who loves caring for the baby? Do you have a mother that loves caring for the baby? Grandma, grandpa, friends? Is there anyone that's happy to come even once a week while you, maybe you can batch write? Is your husband able to take the baby for a certain amount of time? I understand that not everyone has this, but if you do, I would highly recommend that you utilize it. We can get a little bit controlling over our children sometimes and want things to be done our way. But if you have a friend or a parent or a grandma or a mother-in-law that you know loves your baby as well, then it's going to be in the best interest of you, the baby, and the other caregiver who wants to be with your child to all have that time, so you can take a break, you can come back refreshed, you can have alone time with your husband or your wife, etc., etc. So those are my 5 tips for how I would recommend you get writing done if you do have a beautiful little baby. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it helps. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to comment below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you for the next video.